You are watching Influence Media, PSI TV, the Netflix of biz brands.
Raginal Paz is a social media influencer on Instagram with more than 68,000 followers. He identifies as a foodie, dog dad, toy collector, traveler, and husband, not necessarily in that priority order. Raginal is one of PSI's younger guests, and goal today is to explore the business and income opportunity of social influencing. In fact, this interview with Ragie is an adventure into the business and income side of social media influencing, because what you're witnessing in this show is a value exchange swap between PSI TV and Ragie's influence. Ragie, thank you for being my guest today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Awesome. So, Ragie, I'm very curious. Who determines that someone qualifies as a social media influencer?
So to me, it's not necessarily the amount of followers you have per se. It's more of the impact that you have on people. So if you're seeing yourself touching more lives, connecting with more people, them accepting what you have to offer, that's the determining factor that you are a social media influencer.
The advertising authorities do have a measure of 30,000 as the official mark, that when you cross 30,000, you have enough influence that the advertising on your end is a little bit different than the average Joe. So I will say that there is an actual thing there. So if someone watching this show was inspired to work towards the status of becoming a social media influencer themselves, how would they actually know when they've achieved it?
But more so the impact that you have on people, right? The engagement that you get back from people, because that's how brands will see you as someone that they would want to work with. If they see that more and more people would like to, engage with your content, they like what they're seeing from your page. So I
And
think
I
that
like the point that you made about engagement, because I do have one page that's approaching the 30,000 on Facebook, but the engagement's not as much, because I'm not really that active there. They follow me for whatever reason, but the engagement I think is very important. So I'm glad you mentioned that,
absolutely,
Ragie.
absolutely.
Now, I was researching you because I research all my guests, and you were featured in a bunch of publications such as the Chicago Journal, Times Business News, Fox Interviewer, just to name a few. How would you say becoming a social media influencer has changed your life?
Well, it definitely changed my life a lot. Because you become different when you become somewhat of a public figure, because now you have people looking into you, looking up to you, looking at your recommendations. So for me, it's becoming more of a responsibility, because you have to be careful what you put out there, because you have people looking at you, copying what you're doing. So it's becoming not just a way to monetize, obviously, but also a responsibility to make sure that you're creating positive impact.
I'm glad you said that too, because I think there are people who may not realize their level of influence on the people who follow them, and they may be doing negative influencing just because they don't care. They haven't considered the responsibility factor that you've just mentioned. So I celebrate that you actually recognize the responsibility to put content that those who are following you may follow. So that's awesome. So there are many social media platforms, Ragie, but you have a very strong presence on Instagram. Not so much I saw on other platforms. You're there, but the IG is where you seem to rock. Now, was that part of your strategy to kind of like focus in on that versus say TikTok, YouTube, whatever?
Yeah, I think for me, it's growing your presence in one platform and building yourself up from there. So I started having when I started having social media accounts, I started with Instagram, right? And I do find that it has all the features I need, to document my journey, to get some engagement, to watch how well my posts are doing. And it kind of I built my way up from there. So now I have that stronger presence on IG. Now I'm expanding and growing my presence in the other platforms as well.
I hear an accent. You are Filipino?
Filipino, correct. Yep.
Wow, you guys are featuring strong these days between Joy Coy and all. You
Oh,
guys are
that's
like,
right. Yeah, there's a lot of Filipino social media influencers.
yeah, you guys are taking over. That's pretty cool. So, Ragie, I actually connected with you on a platform called Socialcat. There are many social media connecting platforms. I just happened to find you on that one. And your services to create influencer content for brands so as to, like you talked about engagement with your audience, can happen in the form of an exchange, a value exchange of a gift of some sort. And
That's
these
right.
gifts can take many forms. So can you share some examples of gifts you actually have been offered and accepted? And what did these brands get in exchange for that?
Yeah, the good thing, well, you mentioned Socialcat, right? The good thing about Socialcat is kind of like a two-way street. So the brands get to pick who they would like to work with, but only when you accept their offer, that when you guys can collaborate together. So when I look at brands as well, I don't just look at what they offer, but I'm trying to see if it's something that fits me, representative of who I am. And if I see that, I do my research, I look them up and see what they sell, what products they offer. And if it's something that I think fits me, that's when I accept the collaboration. So to me, anything that I'm posting on my social media accounts are more organic because they're things that I really like. So when I promote them, when I post about them, it's more organic, and the brands appreciate that because when they see my content, they're like, by far yours is the best content we've ever gotten. So we would like to work with you again. And
Oh, awesome.
I constantly, I know I'm trying to carry my own chair here, but I constantly get those positive feedback from brands wanting to work with me again because of that.
Well, I love that what you just said as well. And I will be honest, this is an experiment for me. You are a younger audience than I find that our channel usually gets, but that's great because guess what? If we age out, we'll die. We do need to try and reach a younger audience, and hopefully, you'll help us to become relevant to that audience as well, because this is an experiment for us as well, and we're very excited to connect with you. So Ragie, you have built your influence. You talked about the organic stuff you like, you're doing it, you truly like these things. You post about your interests. Now, as I was looking you up again, you're an IT guy, you're a foodie, a dog dad, a traveler, a husband. You even had a bunny branded t-shirt and hoodie thing that you sell. So I'm going to invite the audience to follow you on IG in a moment. But what is your favorite thing to share on IG, and what is the topics you find get the most engagement? That might be more than one question I
Yeah.
throw at you, but
Yeah, but I mean, I do a little bit of everything, as you can see from my social media account, but that's a no-brainer. My dogs, definitely. They get the most engagement. And to me, because part of my advocacy is to promote being a responsible dog owner to everyone. Because you know that dogs are cute, they're fun to have around, but it's not always good stuff. There's about cleaning, there's caring for them, making sure they're healthy and all that stuff. So I wanted to make sure that everybody's aware that when you have a dog, it comes in the territory that it's not always good things. There's bad to it. So I'm trying to put it out there. So I'm getting that message across people to be a responsible dog parent. And definitely I get a lot of engagement. They love my dogs. They ask for more. So hands down, content about dogs.
but you know what, Ragie, you also post things like food, and you mix the food with the travel. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so during the day I work as an IT, so I do travel for work. So part of my journey being in different places is I love food. So why not mix business and pleasure? Because I do enjoy my job, don't get me wrong, but I do enjoy like doing what I do on the side, such as like food blogging, travel blogging, and all that stuff. So they kind of work hand in hand. I go to different places, so I discover all these new places, and I'm a big foodie. So I definitely do enjoy trying food from different places. I'm not picky. I eat pretty much everything and anything. So if I see something new, I go for it. I try it. And if I see something new on the menu, I go for it and I try it. And part of that is I document that. So I give awareness to people that, hey, by the way, these places exist. And, I let people be the judge for themselves. So I wouldn't necessarily put like negative reviews about food. I show people that they exist and I want to try it for themselves.
Is that your doggy I just
Yeah,
heard?
yeah, there
Can
you
we
go.
see him?
Like, Daddy, I want to be on the camera.
Come on, let's see the doggy.
I'll show you one really quickly.
Okay, what's the doggy's name?
This one is Benji.
Hey, Benji.
Hi, say hi, everyone.
Hi. No, it sounds like you have more than one. Is there more than one?
Yep, one is all the way out in the living room.
Okay, no problem. So, all right, fantastic. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with us, Ragie?
I think I just want to close this with a message to everyone that if you want to be a social media influencer, right, don't be discouraged really easily. It comes in the territory where you're going to get some negative criticism, you're going to get some no's from brands, you're going to get some rejections, you're going to get some negative feedback, but keep on doing what you're doing as long as you're enjoying it. You'll get that break. And once you get to that point, you'll be so happy you didn't give up.
Fantastic. And I do want to, guys, if you're watching and you're a business owner, a coach, an entrepreneur, a brand of any sort, you may want to connect with someone like Ragie, and he's over at Socialcat, but you can connect directly with Ragie at his link tree, which is linktr.ee/Reginald Pat. Ragie, I'm so happy that you were connecting with us today, and we met your doggy, and thank you so much for being our guest.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Trudy.